Welcome to another edition of Bowie TV's Sports Spotlight. During this hour, we're bringing you highlights from our shows focused on all things sports in the DMV. Please be sure to follow us on all of our social media platforms. First, check out the sights and sounds from the 2025 Prince George's County Public School All-Star Volleyball game. Then on Pitt Sports Zone, Bowie State University softball head coach Ed Powell shares how his team is keeping their championship mindset ahead of this upcoming season. On Baltimore Ravens Rundown, we take a look at highlights and press conferences from the Ravens' Week 12 win over the New York Jets. Lastly, take a look at the Washington Commanders giving back to the community during the Thanksgiving holiday season. Don't go anywhere, and as always, enjoy this week's episode of Bowie TV's Sports Spotlight.
Now serving goal, number 4, Anaya Bass. What's going on, everybody? You already know what it is. I'm your boy Pitts, Pittsburgh's on Bowie TV. Coming to you live once again. I'm smiling, man, because listen, this is where me and Coach get to kick off our segments going forward for a week. Every single week, tap in. It won't be as late as today. We'll get all that information out to you, but it is going down. You got Pitts and Powell. No better combination than that. What's going on today, Coach?
I'm good, man. Thank you for having me. I
Hey,
like
man.
that. I like that Pitts and Powell thing. I like that.
That's P square. That's P
Like
square,
that.
Pitts and Powell. So, Coach, this is the start of a new venture for us, man. How you feel?
I'm excited, man. Always excited to get together with you, man. But really, always even more excited to get a chance to talk about softball a whole lot more. So that's always a good thing.
So, golf, we just gonna rip the bandit off. So, Coach, is your phone charged?
Yeah, my phone charged. I'm all good. I'm at like 55%. So on my Android, so I'm good. So I'm good. I'm locked in.
All right, Coach, we just gonna jump right into it, man. Man, it's been years, and I don't want us to pivot and go too far back, but if we can, let's just give the viewers and listeners who may not be aware of when you started at Bowie State, and you can kind of just run that down for them for us real quick.
Okay. Man, it used to be a lot easier when I used to think about it. So this actually will be my 10th season. So that meant if this is my 10th season, so I started in 2016. And I started off literally just to be some assistance or some help to the coaches that were already on the staff. You know what I mean? And then from there, I was asked to be assistant, and then from there, I was asked to, 4 years later, asked to be the head coach, to take over the program, and kind of reluctantly deciding to take over the program just because I wasn't too sure about my skills. I was completely confident of the player's skill, but I wasn't sure about my skills and coaching college softball for the first time. So that was a little bit of trepidation. But from there, once I jumped in it, I was all in. No turning back.
So, Coach, I'm gonna do a quick rundown, right, of Bowie State softball over the last couple of years. A lot of people don't realize it, but I like to summarize it up like this. Bowie State has played in the CIAA championship for the last 3-4 years.
4. Yeah.
4 years, right? And
Yep.
we're talking about, the first year really could have been a win for Bowie State, who played against Claflin as well. Played against Claflin actually for the last 4 years straight in the CIAA championship.
Yeah.
So it's really kind of been the Bowie and Claflin show for the last 4 years when it comes to the CIAA championship. And there's no shade to the other organizations. That's just just stating the factual that it literally has been Bowie State and Claflin the last 4 years. And when you just look at the makeup of the different players of your team, every year it was a different makeup. Talk about this year's makeup of the team, because you only have one senior. Talk about the makeup of your team this year and what excites you about this roster.
Oh man. Each individual team is like if you have multiple children, you know what I mean? They all are different. Even if you have twins, they still have their differences. This year's Bowie State team, man, is I'm excited. I'm always excited about, the players that we have, the players that we're returning, but I'm really excited about the group that we have. They've been through some wars, they've been through some some tested times, and some of them didn't play as much as they wanted to, some played a whole lot, and so this is going to be a really high expectation team. The expectation is going to be really high. And I think the other thing too is everybody that they play will kind of see that's their championship game because they're playing the champ. So we got to come out being ready to play. But I think the group that we have assembled right now that's going to take the field in less than 2 months. I think I'm excited about it. I mean, if we're talking about positions, I think our pitching group is going to be really strong. Our catching group is strong. Our outfielders are strong. We gotta replace, which we really didn't have to replace, but we move our second baseman and shortstop. We still have our third baseman. We got people fighting for first, fighting for first and second. So I'm excited about, opportunities that I'm waiting to see who's going to take advantage of it.
Man, Coach, when you talk about fighting for opportunities, I watched your team this year, play in a couple of games in the fall, against University of Maryland Eastern Shore, Maryland University, Morgan State. And for your team to only have, of course, the one senior, a couple juniors, but heavily, led by underclassmen, freshmen. You had some freshman players that came out looking like they were already part of the team last year, like they were already in rare form. When you talk about the incoming freshmen and just the leadership amongst your veteran group, let's talk about that mix because I've noticed you don't really have to do a lot of talking. Like your players kind of lead the way for the team as far as what the culture is and the things of that nature.
Yeah, well, when you say that, honestly, it was built that was built like 4 or 5 years of building, and then what we're getting the chance to see is we're getting a chance to kind of see what tradition actually literally looks like. That was passed on that somebody else built, and they left the kind of blueprint, and then the next group kind of picked up that blueprint, and then the next group kind of picked up that blueprint, and then what you have honestly is the freshmen that are there now.
Mm-hmm.
They're probably the most as the freshmen that we've had. They're probably coming in saying, if this is the way it's supposed to be done, because there's 3 championships before I got here, then let me just follow. Let me just, if they say go right, let's go right. You know what I mean? And that's what I find out with this group. They're much more willing to say, all right, this is what it's supposed to be go. All right, that's what we're gonna do. And so they came in, they kind of jump right in their roles and never have swayed. So I'm excited about the future when they get their chance to lead, to kind of see what that's going to look like.
When you talk about you said your catchers and your pitcher lineup is deeper. We're talking about last year Lindsay and
I know.
like you had a lot of, so it doesn't surprise me because we talked off air at times and I raved the fact that how Draco came in in the championship game and the moment wasn't too big for her. She was in rare form, and you said something that I like, right? You said that they're no longer freshmen.
Yeah.
They're no longer freshmen.
Yeah.
And the way that they play up to the moments was very it was inspiring. I'm sure a lot of young ladies coming behind and who are watching the program gets inspired as well because it is consistently a winning tradition. And the standard is winning every single year, regardless of, how many freshmen you get in or how many seniors you have.
Yeah, man. I mean, you mentioned, I know I said, that the way the pitching group looks is going to be really strong. And, I mean, Lindsay is, Lindsay, when she was here, she
was a goat.
Yeah, she did. And kind of, that's kind of the way you want to do it. You want to play your best all 4 years. You don't look back and Lindsay George really, really did that. You know what I mean? And players like that, Lindsay, Jayla, they're not replaceable. You don't replace them. You basically, somebody else plays a different role, somebody else steps up, but those players are not replaceable. So we don't even try to replace them. We're just looking for somebody else to step in to fill that gap, how they feel it, and then we gonna keep rolling with that.
When you look at your players, like Presley and Coco and Taylor, the players who've been here for a couple of years who actually have, multiple rings, how high, what is your expectation from them, year in, year out? Because they've proven it, how much more are you looking for them to pour into the younger group?
Oh man, they are, they are the ones that set the standard. And we talk about the standard all the time. And the standard is the standard. The expectation that they have three years of the standard. And so they kind of the armor bearers of kind of how we operate. Literally, those three know, and Karina, they know kind of how we got to where we got, how we maneuvered there. They took some tough losses, enjoyed some of the good wins, but it wasn't, they just didn't walk in and just all of a sudden win. They know all the work that it takes to get there. And so, and what they do is they just kind of pass that on by their effort, by their conversations, by their leadership, and I'm excited, man, to go on this ride for this upcoming season.
And I'd be remiss if I didn't mention your coaching staff. If you can, kind of talk about what they bring. I know there's some new faces this year, but if you can kind of talk about, we know Sammy is a hitting guru.
Right.
You can just talk about the what they bring, the different qualities, not just from a coaching perspective, but the way they are able to relate with the women as well.
Oh man. I mean, we wouldn't be the team that we are. We wouldn't be the program that we are without our assistants. I mean, and I've really been thinking about this, and so, they're the staff. They actually, some people have assistants. I don't have assistants. I have staff members, right? And when you think about a staff member, each staff member has their own individual uh, kind of professionalism, kind of their own individual thing. And so we have Coach Eliana Hindenburg that played here at Bowie for 4 years. Outstanding catcher. I mean, studies the game, studies the catching position, and she's our catcher's coach. And she is, I mean, you couldn't find a better catcher's coach to be able to lead our catchers and be a part of the infield. Man, she does a great job. Her individual knowledge, even when she was playing, we kind of knew that she was going to be in the coaching realm because she was always coaching. Anyway, whoever she was partnered with catching, they would create a coaching kind of relationship that they would coach each other. So we kind of knew that. And Coach L is great at the catcher's coach, and then like you mentioned, Coach Sammy. Coach Sammy is our hitting guru. I mean, most teams don't have a hitting coach. I mean, some do. I'm talking about at our level. We don't. A lot of times you won't find at a D2 that you have a coach specifically for hitting. Some do, some don't. But I don't think there's very few that have a hitting coach that's a specialist the way we have, the way we have it. So with Coach Sammy, and then we have a new Courtney. Coach White is our new pitching coach. Coach Morgan did a great job with our pitchers for 3 years. She stepped away to go do some, her own personal thing. And so when that happened, we already was in contact. We already kind of knew Courtney, and bringing Courtney White on literally has raised the level of our pitchers, raised the level of our team.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, And I don't want to forget, and that's Coach White. And I cannot forget because Coach Liera Livingstone has transitioned. So she transitioned. So of course everybody know that she was the manager for all three of our championship teams. So she's transitioned her role into she's the outfield coach now. Right. So she's also hold down the other roles as doing some of the management stuff, but she's actually jumped into the role as being the outfield coach. And and she does a great job. The girls respect her, and she's always willing to learn and do whatever it takes for the team. So that's our team. I mean that's our team.
I definitely wasn't going to leave my girl Lily out.
Yeah.
Definitely wasn't going to leave Lily out.
No, we can't leave Lily out.
And I definitely it would be remiss to not mention, as you stated, Morgan and Carmen and the contributions that they have played in over the last couple of years in those championship runs.
Yeah, and I'm definitely and Coach Carmen is still around. I mean, she's always done that. And what I'll say of Coach Carmen is the stuff that nobody can see. That, when we I mean, our uniforms all matching, sweatsuits, hats, shoes, all the stuff that nobody actually sees. That is Coach Carmen. You know what I mean? And so that is equally as important as anything that happens on the field. The hotels, all the booking, make sure with the food. I mean, it is so much stuff that happens behind the scenes that, that we're just so happy to have a coach like that, just willing to make that kind of sacrifice without actually being seen, just getting the work done. So, man, the staff is really strong this year. It's probably one of the strongest staffs that I've had. I mean, well, I can say that because I started off coaching by myself. So, so it is good to have that level of coaching, on a day-to-day basis.
Coach, you got a bullseye on your back. I mean, you've had a bullseye the last 3 years. You've had one. Well, technically, it could have been 4, but already. But you had a bullseye. How do you maintain the same level of play year after year? With the interchangeable of players. What's your recipe?
It's honestly, it's just put your head down and go to work every day. I'm just, yeah, I got a big back because it's got a big target on it, but it's you know what I mean? I'm gonna try to get it a little smaller, but drop a couple pounds, make the target a little smaller. But but I think honestly it's I try to respect every opponent, and the way we look at it is that we're not afraid of anybody. You know what I mean? So we're not afraid of anybody. But we're gonna prepare like we're playing the best team every time. No matter who it is, because that stuff keeps me up at night. Even from whatever level team that we're playing. That's why you play the game to figure out who can win or lose. So at any game, we got to play. So that's kind of how I go into it every game, every practice. You know what I mean? And so the way I like to talk about it, the team that we have assembled now, we have 0 wins. We have 0 wins. So and we're gonna keep that mentality all the way through. You know what I mean? We respect everybody. You know what I mean? But we're not scared of nobody.
Coach, talk about your incoming freshmen. As I alluded to earlier, watching some of them play in the fall against University of Maryland, Eastern Shores, the Morgan States, and the Marylands, and just kind of pivoting and going back to their peak already appear to be in form. Just talk about what you've seen from them alone, just as they have integrated themselves into the system.
Let's see. I mean, I can truly say that the recruiting of this class was really strategic about who we bring in, kind of what their roles are going to be, and really kind of going to work. I mean, I would honestly say this group just came in really ready to go. I mean, they didn't surprise me with how they showed up. You know what I mean? Because I know some of the games, like when I believe one of the rallies that they started, one of the rallies that I believe it was the UMES game this fall, that they were the ones that got the rally going and got the bats going.
Yes.
Yeah, they got the bats going, and it was a freshman after another freshman after another freshman. So I think that my coaching staff again,
This is Karita Parks with Bowie TV. The Baltimore Ravens slid by the Jets with a 23-10 victory at home. This game didn't really open up for the Ravens until the second half. It was a slow start to the first half for the offense, but after halftime, they were able to immediately score on a Derrick Henry touchdown, and from there, they had the momentum. The Ravens also, with this win, take over the AFC North because of Pittsburgh's loss. Here's what Coach Harbaugh had to say about where the Ravens currently stand.
It feels great, but it's just it's halfway done. It's not over. Season's not over. Game wasn't over. Season's not over. And we play four. We play the Steelers twice. And we play the Bengals twice in the next few weeks. So that's going to be it right there.
As I mentioned, it took some time for the offense to get going. Ronnie Stanley said there was no special message at halftime. They just came out and did what they needed to do.
No, just stay calm and keep going. Keep the process, and the run. We knew the runs were going to break. We just needed to get on the right people and adjust to the people that we need to adjust to.
If there was a game ball to give out, it would definitely go to special teams, especially punter Jordan Stout. As Coach Harbaugh said in his opening statements post-game, it was really special teams that kept them in the game. Jordan Stout was pinning the Jets deep in their own territory, and he also had a 74-yard punt that tied the Ravens franchise record for longest punt. That is currently held by Sam Cook. After the game, Jordan Stout, he told me that he's glad that he didn't take it from Cook, who he really admires. He's glad that they can share that honor. I also asked Coach Harbaugh about Stout's progression, and he said that he really feels like he has found himself as a punter.
That's such a good question. I mean, he has made a big jump. He's made a big jump this year, and I think he's kind of found himself. Sometimes you got to figure out, what type of a punter am I going to be? And I think he's really punting to his strengths.
Although the Ravens are leading the division, they still have important division games coming up. On Thursday, they are back at it against the Bengals. That's another home game at night. And then they see the Steelers again and the Bengals. So the division is really going to play out over these next couple weeks. In the meantime, Draymond Jones, who was brought here because of his ability to sack the quarterback. He had 2 sacks today, his first sacks as a Raven, and he talked about looking forward to that Thanksgiving game this week.
I've been seeing that rivalry for 20 plus years now, so I understand the magnitude of what it is, and we just got first place. So, and we going against a rival, so it's about to be a crazy lit game on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's about to be a whole bunch of emotions and anger coming on.
This is Karita Parks. That's been your Ravens Rundown. Be sure to follow Bowie TV on all social media platforms at Bowie TV Sports, and you can also find us on Comcast in Prince George's County.
Against a tough opponent who is ready to play. Very well coached, very hard playing, very talented team, and you saw it out there today. So really proud of our guys. The message this week, all right, the first message was from Psalm 23. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil, for you are with me. And I feel like that's the way the story of the game went. It's the way the story of the season has gone in a sense. The first half was tough, and they did a really good job. And our guys kept fighting even to the end of the second quarter, and then we got the lead, and we were nobody flinched. We came out. We had 3 straight scoring drives, and we took the game over in the third quarter. And into the fourth quarter, we played really well. So, but a couple things that jump out at me right away is the punt team. All right, start with Jordan Stout and the punt coverage guys. That kept us in the game probably, because we were backed up field position wise. We averaged a 20. We were backed up inside the 10 once or twice too. They had done a good job with their punt team, the kickoffs and all the different things. They moved the ball a couple times, and we were backed up offensively, and that made it tough against that defense. And then our punt team would bail us out and push them all the way back inside the 20, a couple times inside the 10 and even the 5 late. I mean, that punt at the end of the game was unbelievable. So I think our punt team in a lot of ways kept us in and was the difference maker in the game. And Chris Horton deserves so much credit for that. Chris Horton has done a great job. This is a young group. That was the #1 ranked special teams in the league coming in here. And Chris Horton had those guys ready, man. He had those guys ready in every phase. And you can see how good they were, how dangerous they were on kickoff return and everything else. Got the big kickoff return to Keaton that got that scoring drive started in the second quarter. So really proud of that. Like Chris, I just want to make sure we mentioned what a great job Chris has done with those guys, and then those young guys, man. It's a bunch of young guys, a bunch of guys that compete and get after it and fight and practice hard every day. So proud of those guys. All right, what questions you have?
John, how does it feel after starting off 1-5, now 5 straight wins, and with the Steelers losing today, you're tied atop of the AFC North?
Well, it feels great. It feels great, but it's just it's halfway done. It's not over. Season's not over. Game wasn't over. Season's not over. And we play 4. We play the Steelers twice. And we play the Bengals twice in the next few weeks. So that's going to be it right there. And starting Thursday night, we've got no time really to rest. We've got to go to work on the Bengals, and we know what that's like. So how challenging that is. So we'll be ready to go.
Hey John, speaking of the short week, we saw Kyle Hamilton limp off to the locker room. Do you have an update on him?
Kyle is not a serious. It's not a serious injury. Taven also limped off. We'll have to evaluate that one, and we'll know more tomorrow.
John, it's another week of. Lamar is such a high standard guy, but it's another week where he's not played the way we're used to seeing him play at that MVP level. Being close to him, do you characterize this as sort of some things he's working through? What's your confidence that he'll get back to the level we've seen him the last few years?
Thanks for asking that. Thanks. It's a great, and I like the way you asked it too. I appreciate it. Utmost confidence in Lamar Jackson. Always will. He's my guy. He's our guy. He's our quarterback. And Lamar's doing what he needs to do. He's winning football games. And it's not always pretty. I don't know how many times in the last however many years we've had wins like this where we've gotten up here and said, it's not pretty, it's not perfect, but it's us. It's us competing and fighting. And that's what Lamar's doing. Pretty games will be there. I'll be there for Lamar Jackson. You can bet on that. But I'm proud of him right now. I'm really proud of him. The way he's fighting to win football games.
John, how big was the 4th and 2 stop, third quarter?
So big.
Kind of shift momentum.
So big. Nate, they went after Nate, a little hitch stop there, and he just played it perfectly technique-wise. You challenge a young corner sometimes, his technique, his eyes, those kind of things, and he played it beautifully.
Hey John, early in the game, you guys had 4th and inches. You brought the punt team out, you called timeout, and then you brought the offense back on. Is that a case where Lamar Jackson talked you into it, or was that a plan all along?
Well, I did see his facial expression. I will have to admit to that, but really what it was shorter than we thought. It seemed a little longer for whatever reason on the spot, we thought. And, it was really a situation where you're probably punting everything, unless it was inches, and it turned out to be then it looked like about 3 inches, but then they spotted it right before the field goal, right before the snap, and I'm like, that's like a half a yard. I think they moved it back again, But we got it. And so I thought that was awesome. That was great.
On 4th down, was it a hard decision to make the call to go with it on the Henry run? To go for it in that situation versus kick field goal?
It was a tough call, and we just decided that the downside of leaving them backed up there would be okay. But that was a tough call. not taking the points, the sure points.
Sorry. Especially with Marlon coming off the finger surgery, given that game situation, how big was the forced fumble there inside the 5?
I mean, Marlon and then, of course, Lowe coming up with the ball. But Marlon, to get that ball out, I don't know how he did it because we were reeling a little bit. They had us on our heels, you know. They were running the ball. They had made some plays. We missed some tackles. And then he comes up just huge. I mean, that's, to me, it's like, that's the lion spike right there. That's the lion spike of the game right there. And then the pass rush. You know, how about the pass rush? I thought those guys bringing it on the pass rush was good. Now I'm disappointed in the fact that Tyrod got out, but we knew that. You know, he's a hard guy to get down. That was pretty much a lot of their offense was him scrambling around and making plays on the run. But we got him down. We got some pressure, especially at the end in the fourth quarter. The fourth quarter pass rush is a big deal.
You cautioned that season is not over yet, but to get back to this point, but even before Thanksgiving, where everything's still in front of you, from where you were at 1-5, which sort of stands out to you about your ability to do that?
I think it's what we talked about before. I think it's that faith and guts and the idea that guys are, you walk through all these things and it makes you stronger and builds you into what you need to be, and hopefully that's the type of team that we are becoming. And we still have a whole bunch of games left, to fight through, and they're all going to be tough games. Every single one of them will be like this. The rest of the season is going to be tough. So we're going to have to be tough also. We're going to be tough enough to deal with it. But the pass rush, how about Dre on the 2 sacks? 2 sacks, coming up with those sacks and getting them on the ground, that was huge.
John, to kind of follow up on what you were just talking about, I know you're a one game at a time type guy, but I mean, that being said, you look at the schedule for the next 3 weeks, Bengals, Steelers, Bengals. I mean, is there sort of a different juice to the portion of the schedule you're getting into where these division games are going to be really tough?
I don't know if I'd say different juice because I think the juice has been there every single week. I mean, you couldn't underestimate or undercalculate the juice that's gone into these games. And the fact that our guys have what it takes to bring it again, like Roe was talking to the team in the locker room in the final break about that very thing this week against the Bengals, and it's just the Bengals. It's the Bengals on Thursday night. That's it.
John, with Derrick Henry, I think he's now up to 12 on the all-time. I think he passed Marcus Allen, Edgerrin James. I know you're not thinking about it at the time watching him run, but is it kind of interesting to see a guy that just every yard he's moving up kind of NFL history?
It is. You start running out of game balls. How many game balls can you give him? So he'll wait till he cracks the top 10. I don't know. But he's going to give more yards, and then having players like that on your team, this guy sitting right here is in the same category, but or like DeAndre Hopkins, who's going after his 1,000th catch. Thought about trying to get him his 1,000th catch there too. But we won't have to do that. It's coming. It'll be there Thursday night. So seeing those guys play and being a part of that, their careers, is really cool.
John, last year there were struggles with special teams and penalties. This year through 12 weeks, you guys are probably top 5, top 10 in both those categories. Just how helpful can that be to a team like this going through some ups and downs, and just what is it like to see it kind of come out on the field today?
Such a good observation because that's a difference maker. We are. I don't know how many penalties we had today. It wasn't very many. And I think we're 4th, something like that, least amount of penalties. I'm really proud of our guys for that. Tony Mihalik's done a great job for us, but everybody, has done a great job. And special teams is, today was a big challenge for the special teams. It was a red letter game, the old red letter game. Michigan used to have red letter games. Ohio State was one of them, and this was a red letter game for our special teams, and they really came up big.
2 more for John.
Coach, going back to Jordan, I mean, he did have a career long today, and he's talked about how he just feels more comfortable and like he's flowing out there. How have you seen him progress now that he's in year 4?
That's such a good question. I mean, he has made a big jump. He's made a big jump this year, and I think he's kind of found himself. Sometimes you got to figure out, what type of a punter am I going to be? And I think he's really punting to his strengths. 71-yard average. 71-yard punt. I think it might be the 6th longest in history.
No, the 61.5 average is the 6th longest in history for his average today.
61.5 average, 6th longest since 1960.
74-yarder is the longest.
Is that were you born in 1960?
I was not born yet. Were you?
I was not. That's probably why I asked that question. I'm looking at Cliff. Oh, there we go. Come back there.
No, but the 74-yarder was the longest. Tied Sam Cook for the longest ever
by the Ravens, right?
Yes.
Sam had a 74-yarder. Sam's gonna. He said, Sam, right now you're tied for number 1, Sam.
But Jordan, you said over the 4 years you've just seen. Because he was under a lot of pressure coming off of Sam Cook, right? I mean, how he's handled that over the last 4 years.
I think that's exactly right. And Sam deserves credit too, because Sam's been working with him. Working with him for his first couple of years here, and still talks to him all the time. So, yeah, it's cool. Cool to see.
Pre-game, it got me going. I felt like I was in like any given Sunday type movie,
What can you say about the defensive performance? I mean, you had the sacks, and Marlon gets the turnover inside the 5. You guys pretty much held them for most of the game. Just kind of what can you say about the performance?
I mean, we've been damn near lights out. I mean, we've created turnovers, getting pressure on the quarterback, getting hits, getting sacks, stopping the run. I mean, everybody's doing their part. D-line, we're knocking things back and back in there covering. So it's a complimentary football going on right now.
What has stood out to you about the confidence of the defense since you've arrived here?
It's been through the roof. When I got here, it seems weird that they lost or how they had these slip-ups because they were just so good. So I'm happy to be a part of something like that.
A lot of your teammates have talked about the tenacity that you play the game with, the physicality and whatnot. Do you feel like now playing with these guys, like you're where you should be?
I mean, I was where I should be the night I got traded. So I definitely feel my confidence growing each and every week. The coaches, teammates, they do a good job making me feel comfortable. They always help me out, overly communicating. Even when I know it like the back of my hand, they'll still tell me, which is a good thing because, you have slip up sometimes. So you got to just keep that up and more wins will come.
Do you feel like the way you play the game kind of fits what the Ravens do? It seems that way since you've arrived here, that you just kind of fit the style of players that the Ravens want.
Yeah, I mean, contrary to what some may believe, I'm a pretty angry person. But, yeah, I mean, I fit the mold.
You saw what those AFC North rivalries are like with that game last week in Cleveland. Next week, it's a short week. Thursday night here at the Bank, Thanksgiving, to play on Thanksgiving, but also to play against the Bengals in another AFC North game.
I've been seeing that rivalry for like 20 plus years now, so I understand the magnitude of what it is, and we just got first place. So, and we going against a rival, so it's about to be a crazy lit game on Thanksgiving. Yeah. So yeah, it's about to be a whole bunch of emotions and anger coming on.
You've been around for a while. I mean, how difficult is it to string together 5 wins in this league, even if, as Harbaugh says, it's not always pretty?
Super hard. Like, I've been on 5-game losing streaks, so 5-game winning streaks are, a blessing. You got to take advantage of those, and you got to appreciate them, and we got to just keep, adding on to that streak. You want to win every game you play, and I want to go to playoffs. I've never been in playoffs before, so hopefully we keep doing that.
Draymond, you guys have held opponents, I think, in 5 straight games to under 20 points. Just how would you kind of describe the confidence level of the defense right now?
Through the roof. I mean, that's an elite stat. That's super hard to do in the NFL. Like, there's so many talented people across, this league, and to do what we're doing, I mean, that's playoff caliber, Super Bowl type defense.
What was your view or impression of that Jordan Stout 74-yard punt? He put his hands up and put him on the billboard.
That shit was lit. I'm not gonna lie. I got geeked. I'm like, I've never seen a punter punt a ball like that. That was crazy.
How does that set the defense up for success when the opposing offense is pinned down there?
Oh, I mean, it just gives us life, especially when, offense has to punt the ball. So you don't naturally, you don't get down a little bit, but you're like, damn, like, he punted it. Let's go out, man. And then when he punted the ball like that, it was like, oh, yeah, we about to F him up. It's over with now.
At that moment, and you got a great seal on your guy. Take us through that play. And what at that moment, considering what it's been like trying to score in that situation this year.
Yeah, red zone, we definitely haven't been as efficient we wanted to be, but I think definitely we got there down on the goal line, and coach trusted us being down there 4th and 2, and had a good play call. Danny set it up really nice for me, and Pat had a great block. We had a great block on the right side, and just kind of opened it up for a walk-in. So that's the expectation. So.
First half, looked like it was a real struggle to get going. What was going on, do you think, in your assessment?
Yeah, I think they did a pretty good job on limiting our first down plays, keeping us pretty close to 2nd and long in those situations. But, if we stay in front of the sticks, at a false start, can't have that. But, just staying in front of the sticks, especially in that first half, that happens, good things come for our offense.
What do you think you can pinpoint the difference in the team from going from last to first? What do you think has been the determining factor?
I mean, I think just being on the same page, and like I said, being super efficient on first down is huge for us. There's so many things, so many factors that go into it, but getting the play call in, doing your job and doing it at a high level of physicality, I think that's the main thing for us. So,
how does it feel after a 1-5 start to now be tied with the Pittsburgh Steelers atop the North?
It's good. We won. Looking forward to Thursday. Great win, great team win.
Getting into the end zone twice. The runs inside the 5 obviously been a struggle some, but to have that kind of success a couple times today, what does that mean to you?
We got in the end zone. We scored what we needed to do to be able to put points up. Great execution by everybody on offense.
What was it like to see the hole that Pat Ricard made on that play where you scored?
What was it like to see the hole?
Yeah.
I mean, we scored, so it worked. You did a great job.
What kind of role does he play, though, in that kind of situation there, where he creates that block to create that situation where you can get in on a key 4th down?
I mean, that's something he's been doing before I got here, so there's no surprise to nobody. He goes in there, he blocks, and does a great job for us to be able to have big runs or be able to score.
Derek, what's the feeling of you guys on the offensive side of the ball getting the win, but knowing that you didn't play up to you guys' capability?
I think you just answered the question. We didn't play so the way we feel like we should, and we got to be better.
Derek, that 4th down touchdown was a big kind of turning point in the game. Were you guys lobbying at all to go for it on 4th down in this situation? And how big was it at that point?
We just want to give ourselves a chance to be able to go score, and glad that we executed to be able to get it in there. And we just got to be better on offense overall.
So guys have said, you guys are just not executing on offense on some of these opportunities. What do you need to do, I guess, in order to execute the way you guys want?
What do we need to do as offense?
Just to execute the way you guys want.
Play better, execute. I don't know what else to say. We just need to play better, and everybody just do their job. All 11 takes all 11 to be able to execute, put plays together, put drives together, and win with points.
How much of a challenge is it with Lamar not seemingly able to run the ball the way we've seen him run in the past? The read option's not been a big part of it. His design runs aren't a part of it. The defense looks like they're not then have to worry about that. How does that affect your approach and the defensive approach?
My approach is the same. When I get the ball, try to make plays and do my job. I can't speak for him. We have to ask him that. It's what we won today, so that's a plus. But just focus on being better.
So can't compare it to anything. But yeah, for sure. I have obviously existing relationships with Kyle Hamilton, Kyle Van Noy. I played with him as well. But I think coming in here, just for me, just bringing in a vet presence that can be able to communicate well, has great energy, always around the ball, finding ways to make plays, and just be a consistent guy back there that can help hold down everything that needs to get done. And we're doing a great job of it. I think everyone kind of just rallied behind that energy. And whether that's for me, whether it's from the team, I don't know. I'm not going to take full accountability of that. I think it's a team effort. I think the defense has done great. And I'm just grateful to be a part of it. So it's been fun.
So little time to celebrate. You get the quick turnaround Thursday. It's like Joe Burrow being in line. Not sure what Kyle's situation is after an ankle turn. How does that, is that hard to, you want to appreciate a win, but man, there's no time for it right now.
Yeah, I mean, I the last Thursday night I talked about it as well with some of the guys. It's like a pickup basketball game, pickup football. You got a few days to play. You're gonna enjoy this one no matter what. But obviously your mind's gonna get going towards the next opponent. But it's pickup football. We're gonna go prepare for these next few days. And when you're a kid playing at the park, this is kind of what you live for. Going to pick up ball and go play hoop and go hoop with you guys. And so we're gonna go hoop. We're gonna prepare now and then see what happens.
Having the game at home, does that make it a lot better?
Yeah, it's my first Thanksgiving game, so for me it's a little significant. Baltimore Ravens, the energy here is great. Obviously, I've been in California my whole career, but the Ravens environment, the stadium, man, who doesn't want to come out here and watch some great football? A bunch of guys running around, flying, hitting, and playing good ball. So it's been fun.
Do you have any family traditions for Thanksgiving? What you guys eat?
I'm from Hawaii, so Hawaiian food is kind of what we do. Very traditional. I haven't been back to Hawaii in a while. Obviously just playing ball and whatnot. I actually have some family here for this week that flew down from Hawaii. So my little brothers, my older sister. So they're gonna experience this East Coast, this Ravens environment, Ravens family, and I'm happy to be a part of it. They're happy to enjoy it as well, and just grateful for everything.
And now with the Browns game, you obviously know what this AFC North rival looks like. going against the Bengals for the first time this season. What are the expectations going into that?
Yeah, I mean, I've had some good battles against the Bengals in the past, obviously with my other team that I was on, but, you know, I've got a lot of respect for them. They, you know, they're a great team. They know how to win. You know, obviously with Joe Burrow, if he's in the game, you know, he's one of the best, and I got a lot of respect for him and the team. But at the end of the day, we just got to focus on what we got to do to win, and just go and play ball.
Together at the end of the second quarter.
Yeah, I mean, we started to get the run game going a little bit more, especially in the second half. But I think we need to start a little bit faster, start a little bit sharper, and you know, play a little more complete game as offense.
At that point, like Lamar has talked about, the other guys have talked about just needing to execute better and so forth. Like, what does that mean to you in terms of to get the offense going?
It means everything because, you know, for me, I know Lamar, we believe that, you know, to win a Super Bowl, that's the type of offense we're going to need to have. So while winning is great, you know, to reach our goals, we know we need to be better.
Ronnie, how much harder is it? You know, Lamar has some gashing teams with its legs, like we've seen so many times in the past. How much harder is it when, you know, that dynamic isn't as prevalent?
I mean, I think it's, you know, it's about the same for me. I think, you know, for the rushers as well, you know, they're still going to try to get after him. And, they're still worried about his legs, and you know, he's a dynamic player no matter what. You know, even if he's going through an injury. So I think, you know, it's about the same for me.
Right, I know you never want to see Jordan Stout come out there on the field, but when you see him have the kind of day that he did, how big is that for this team? 74-yard talent, over 60-yard average.
Yeah, I mean, it's huge, you know, to be able to flip the field like that, especially, you know, these situations where every yard matters, all the time matters, and I have full confidence in him. You know, he's a great player. He's been doing this for a long time for us, so I expect him to keep doing that for us.
Ronnie, what adjustments did you guys make in the red zone to find success today? And I guess where is your confidence level at?
You know, I just think it was grit, you know, getting the ball in there, but I also think that we still left a lot out there. I don't think we scored, you know, every possession in the red zone, you know, touchdown, but we need to get touchdowns when we're in the red zone. That's something that we really need to focus on.
Was anything said at halftime to sprout you guys in the second half?
No, just, you know, stay calm and keep going, you know, keep the process, and, you know, the run, we knew the runs were going to break. We just needed to get on the right people and adjust to the people that we need to adjust to.
Why do you think the red zone has been a struggle at times this year?
You know, I can't, you know, pinpoint one thing. I think a lot of it just maybe details and staying on our blocks and making sure that, you know, you're finishing the block and we're hitting the hole that we're supposed to hit. You know, it's pretty much all execution on, you know, every single player. So it's on all of us.
Big game for Thanksgiving night against the Bengals. How challenging is the quick turnaround to get ready for that game?
Yeah, I mean, it's always really challenging, you know, those Thursday night games, but that's what's asked of us, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to be ready, and we know the type of challenge the Bengals are going to show for us, so we don't look at their record. We know the type of team that they are.
Satisfaction in the wins? Yeah, I find satisfaction in the win. No matter how it is, it's the NFL. The other team get paid as well, so, you know, of course, you want to go out there and blow a team out, but a win is a win, so, you know, man, it doesn't matter.
DeAndre, it seems like almost every one of your catches this year has come at big moments. How much pride do you take in being able to deliver in those clutch situations?
Oh, man, you know, I came here because I knew they had Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry, and, you know, those guys are playing for something, you know, so, man, I'm just happy to be part of it and be able to be in the game during those clutch situations. When my number's called, you know, I think I've came down with it more than I haven't, so, you know, hopefully Lamar and I keep building off that.
You played a lot of football in your career. Is there something to be said for knowing how to win games, even if it's not the prettiest thing, but knowing how to win games and just stack those wins?
Of course. At the end of the day, it says, you know, win or loss, man. So, you know, good teams find a way to win, however that is. If it's Marlon getting the ball out, special teams, you know, making a tackle when they need to. It's a lot of little things that go into it other than, you know, the big stuff that people see.
No, you're part of the offense hasn't been able to kind of click the way you guys would like it to.
Man, you know, I feel like we're clicking enough to win, and that's all that matters, man. You know, you look at teams around the league record, you know, who isn't what ours is, you know, but they could be statistically the highest ranked offense. So, you know, I'd rather be in a position than, you know, statistically the best on paper.
DeAndre, at the beginning of your career at Houston, you were part of a couple teams that also bounced back from slow starts like this one. What does it take for a team to make that kind of mid-season turnaround?
Man, it takes the players just committing to do their job. You know, being in a situation like we're in, 1-5, I don't think anybody thought that we couldn't do what we're doing now in this locker room. But that starts with the veterans, the way we practice. You know, the younger guys are going to practice the same way. But, you know, really, you know, at the practice field, man, you got to go out and practice with meaning and, you know, execute in the game.
You're one. You've been doing this for a long time. Just how do you balance when you get to this point in the season, especially, you know, taking care of your body, taking that time to rest, but also when execution's the problem, knowing when you need to get out and practice and work on things as well. Just how do you balance?
Well, you know, man, you got a lot of time on your hands, you know, in this league. So guys like myself who's been around other players, just asking what they're doing to, you know, recover, especially, you know, at this age. You know, been in a lot of locker rooms and been around a lot of vets. You know, I used to ask J.J. Watt, Andre Johnson, things, you know, that they were doing to recover, especially short weeks and stuff like that, man. But you know, just asking questions when you're young. You know, the NFL has, I feel like, you know, kind of made it where games are, you know, quicker turnaround. I remember last year we played 3 games within like a week or a week and a half. So, you know, man, if you want to go out there and be productive, recovery is key.
You're one away from 1,000 catches in your career. How eager are you to get that one?
Oh, man. I thought Lamar and I had on the go ball, man. But, you know, it's all good. You know, hopefully we can get it next week.
What was your reaction to Tez's big catch to get things going?
Oh, man, I'm Tez's #1 fan, man. So, you know, of course I was excited. You know, hopefully he can go out there and make some more catches for us.